I would like to remind everyone to please make sure that our cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position, and also please be advised our city council meetings are broadcast on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T U-verse, and the City of Gadsden YouTube channel. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Alvin Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Toles.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Worthy.
Here.
Back.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
And Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present and the meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Keith Williamson to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your blessings, Father. We thank you for the love and life that you give us on a continual basis, Father. We thank you for forgiveness and salvation that you freely give us. I pray, Father, that you guide us through this day, through this meeting, the business at hand, Father. Give us the wisdom, guidance, knowledge, and discernment to know your will, to follow your will, to completely surrender to you in all things, to accomplish your will as it pleases you. And we give you thanks for all that you have done and all that you promised to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and the council meeting that was held on July 21st.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
We have any proclamation? Unfinished business, we have,
Well, we gotta do the ratify payment.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payments of accounts for the week of July 17th through the 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
All right, unfinished business, we have none today. This is the time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of an ordinance rezoning property located at 101 Ewing Avenue in District 3 from I-1 Light Industry District to a B2 General Business District. Charles Smith, on behalf of the owner, Christopher Smith, requests the rezoning so that a tire store could be operated at the location. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Is there anyone to speak in favor? This ordinance? All right. Would you come and give your name and address, please?
My name's Charles Smith. I live at 410 Tidmore Bend Road, Gadsden, Alabama. And my son owns the property, and we're trying to get it rezoned because we've got it rented out as a tire store. And I didn't know that it wasn't zoned correctly, so I'm just having to follow procedure.
We thank you.
Thank you.
This ordinance has been presented for first reading today, and the council will vote on it for the next week now.
Okay, can I ask that we bring it up today?
Unanimous consent, consider.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the ordinance today at its first reading, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
Move to adopt.
we have a unanimous consent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just for the record, I just want people to know that we're suspending the rules to be, am I accurate in that? We're suspending the rules to be able to consider this public hearing today? Is that accurate? Yeah.
Yes, the rules provide for an ordinance to be read 1 week and voted upon the following week. So suspending the rules allows both of those actions to happen in the same day. As long as the vote is unanimous, you can do that.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Okay, move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next resolution is awarding bid number 3437 for vehicle filters, autos, and heavy trucks. The fleet maintenance manager has recommended the bid be awarded to Tractor and Equipment Company, and the amount is $22,032.44. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
In the discussion, if Jay will come, he wasn't here last week, but if he'll come at this time to sort of expound on this resolution.
Yes, ma'am. What this is our vehicle filters that we use throughout the city. Every vehicle within the city that we change oil, fire, public works, everything. What that is, that's a 1 year, is what we've used last year. So we bid it out every 3 years, and Tractor Equipment's got the lowest price.
Jay, what's happened to all the local contractors, the parts stores and stuff that years ago they used to fight to get these filters because there's so much profit made in those?
Well, to be honest with you, there's not as much profit now as it used to be, because you have like Tractor Equipment that has so many huge stores that buy so many quantity that they drop the price way down. So basically they're selling them to us a whole lot cheaper, but they're gonna sell more. So the smaller mom and pops cannot, they
Compete
can't
anymore?
compete. Yeah,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
This is the time and place to provide an opportunity for public comments regarding the City of Gadsden application for a grant through the Edward Byrd Memorial Justice Assistant Grant Program for the fiscal year 2020, local solicitation. The amount is $33,860, and the proposed use of the funds is to purchase a ballistic shield, a remote control wheel surveillance platform, and crime reporting training required by the Department of Justice. The Etowah County Department has declined any funding from the grant, and the City of Gadsden Police Department will receive the total amount of the allocation. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Did you want to speak?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. For the police department, this is the grant that we apply for and receive every year, and we'd like to continue to do so. Thank you.
Captain, let me ask you a question. Now, this is like the second or third time that the sheriff's department has declined it, and we will get all of the money. Is it a reason? Is it a catch here somewhere?
The sheriff's department, the drug task force, and the Gadsden Police Department have several teams that join together to JSOC dive teams.
Right.
What we do is we use this grant to augment equipment supplies for those mutual teams. So that's why they are allowing us to manage the entire grant.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the police department will submit an update to the Justice Department to complete the grant requirement. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing application and acceptance of the
So
Edward
moved.
Byrd grant.
Second.
I know Ben was about to do it, so I want to beat him.
No, my main
Oh,
thing.
so
is
now y'all
security.
competing on motions.
Yeah.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Let me say something on that. I was trying to get done because it's imperative we do it now because our time was running out.
Yeah.
That's why I was going.
The next item is a resolution authorizing interlocal agreement between the City of Gadsden, Etowah County Commission, and the Etowah County Sheriff Department. And this relates to the grant in item number 11. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next item is a resolution authorizing an amendment to the agreement with Sane Associates and Company, and this is to include additional state and federal contract clauses to the Broad Street Operational Analysis Project. With no additional cost to the city, the chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Is there any discussion?
A second.
Okay. Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
New business, there's no new business. Department report. We'd just like for you to announce about the
I just wanted to let everyone know that, so as part of our coronavirus relief fund that we proposed over a month ago, we just recently were notified by the state of Alabama that we were not going to be allowed to use our small business grant program that we developed. So that fund will be rolled back into the other funds for coronavirus relief funds throughout the city, but we can't use it to get out the small business grant we proposed.
All right, okay, thank you. At this time, we'll have a citizen request. Brandon Hall, his topic is community assistance. We ask that you give your name and address, please.
My name is Brandon Hall. My address is 203 Avenue, Tower. Thank y'all for letting me speak over before y'all on. Being a 38-year-old black man, black husband, black father, a black son, a black brother, a black mentor, a black leader, tough task. It's not tough because of the title that I mentioned. It's only tough because of the advocate for all these titles. The simple things of just living, working, and basically surviving these times of black men took a difficult task every day. And I can't help but think that every day I got to train my children to live in such a way. They don't have to deal with some of the things that their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents have to deal with. But I feel in my mind it's still ain't enough. But I only got 5 minutes to speak, so I'm going to keep my list real short and simple as possible. The first thing as a citizen in the city of Gadsden that I see as a problem is policing in local and neighborhoods. It don't make us feel like we're being protected at all. It makes us feel like we're being targeted. I'm not saying that we don't need the police, because we do. But the job I work, I don't see the police reporting being in Rainbow City and Shore as much as I see them police in our own neighborhood. And that's a problem. Number 2, I think we need job opportunities and career coaching for young people and their families. With the closing of Goodyear, we have a lot of people that have to rethink how they're going to live. Do they go back to school? Do they drive out of town to go to work? Or they just do nothing. But this is our city. We should have a way that when things like this happen, we can find a way to support and help. Number 3, we need programs for our youth between the ages of 13 and 18. It's cool when you're playing Little League football and you got those kids they can be there. But once they get in high school and they're not part of the varsity team anymore, they got a whole gap of people that just, they don't have anything. So I'm a product of the Quest for Excellence and Boys and Girls Club, which I'm so proud to be a part of. But I know back then that the city wasn't part of it. It was just some men that decided, hey, when you see a problem, you're gonna fix the problem. But so now we're in a place that these guys are older. And we got guys like me that want to go out there and help, but we need to sit it back. Because we can't do it by ourselves. We know that there's money allocated, we got the census, and everybody wants to get things for the census, so we know money's there. So we come in to y'all and say, hey, we need some help. And I did a poll on Facebook just to ask people, like, what's one thing that you want to change in your city? And it was 2 things that rung out every time. Job opportunities, programs. Job opportunities, programs. So I'm just saying, we live in a community, we got to get a sense of community. So I'm just a guy that works every day just like everybody else does. I'm seeing the problem. It's not a black and white problem. It's just a white and wrong problem we got to fix. But being a black man, I'm seeing that it's always on us. We happen to do so much just to get somebody's attention. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care about that statue or nothing. What I want to fix is, I see my people hurting. We need to fix it. Thank you.
Ms. Toast, may I ask him a question? Sir, may I ask you one question? You do know you went to Gadsden City Council meeting, right?
Yes, sir.
And you was wanting us, the city of Gadsden, to patrol your community, but you live in Attala. I don't understand. We can't send police officers to Attala to communicate, to help in your community. It's just Gadsden we can help in.
I'm glad you asked. I'm proud of East Gadsden. I went to Dunham Elementary, Port Middle School, Litchfield High School. So I'm proud of this community. I'm always over there. Yes, I live in Attala, but I always be working in East Gadsden all the time.
Yeah, but
West Gadsden, North Gadsden. I'm just saying, I work in these communities and I see.
Yeah, but the way you was talking, I thought you wanted us to send in your community where you lived in Attala police officers, and I was going to tell you we couldn't do that.
It's all about Gadsden, East Gadsden. It's all that these lawyers know. East Gadsden,
Have you been to a Attala City Council meeting and told them you need more police in your community patrolling and everything?
We don't have a problem like that.
Okay. I was just curious because I want to make sure we was on the same page here.
Can I say something on that about the jobs? I try to put it on Facebook and everywhere, but there's probably around 1,200 to almost 2,000 jobs open at these auto suppliers. And Gadsden State has all kind of programs. Actually, I've sent 2 people who wanted to work to the auto suppliers. They supply for Mercedes, Honda, and all those. It's right down here close by. We got a lot of jobs open. You can go to Gadsden State with the auto technology center they have. And when you get through there, you will know how to work on anything that's a vehicle. And there's others. There's a lot of jobs around, but we can't get, I keep talking about it all the time, but we can't get people to go and work. Some kids that I've sent to a couple of them, they'll work 1 or 2 days, they won't come back and get their check. But there's good jobs open, good paying jobs right now.
And Mr. Hall, your topic was community assistance. Okay, so my question is, and I'd like for you all to relay that information to the rest of the speakers that are going to come. According to our rules, it has to be related to city government or municipal government. But I guess my question to you is, I know you stated some different things, but formulate some things as to how you want the Gadsden City Council to assist as far as the community. I have people who complain about we don't have enough police patrolling over in the East Gadsden area. So I'm saying to you, formulate some things as to how, you can say what the problem is, but also tell us how we can go about solving it. And that is coming up with solutions. So whatever the topic is, and I'd like for you to relay that to the rest of the group that's coming, because what I'm going to do is that if they start talking about, if yours is about community assistance and they started talking about something else, I'm not going to be rude, but I'm going to stop them and I'm going to gavel them down. So make sure your topic relates to how we as a city council can help. All right, thank you.
Brandon, I know exactly what you're saying. So, and in the communities, I think it may be a lack of communication. Because we do, just like the mayor said, we do have job opportunities, and we need to find a way to communicate that.
Thank you.
And to get it to the young people, not just on, the TV channels, because the young people, most of y'all, a lot of them don't watch the TV, but on social media and different platforms like that. Snapchat, I'm not on Snapchat or anything like that, but so we need to communicate better. And let you know where the jobs are, let you know the different opportunities, just like at Gadsden State. You have some companies around here that's doing apprenticeship programs that will train you, and while they're training you, will pay you. So we need to get that information out there, and maybe we'll find a better way to communicate.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And Mr. Hall, I just want to reiterate to you that point, specifically about Goodyear. This is a prime example. I agree. I think what causes a lot of this in this community is it's on both sides. Sometimes the ones that are upset with how the community's running are not fully informed on all the things that are available in the community.
Right.
And I think elected officials could do a much better job of communicating those things to the citizens. So if we both put our guns in our pockets poor choice of words, but you know what I mean. If we both just sit down and realize, okay, maybe there's some things that I don't know about the conversation that I need to educate myself on, and there's certainly things that elected officials need to educate themselves on. Prime example with Goodyear. When Goodyear shut down, as part of their collective bargaining agreement, not only did all those individuals go on to unemployment and receive a one-time lump sum buyout, and by the way, those individuals also, when the pandemic hit, also now receive the federal pandemic unemployment insurance of $600 a week, even though they were released weeks before any of that was put into place. But they also got 2 years worth of technical training at Gadsden State that paid for it. I mean, they can go there for free. And then you've got the Community Employment Office here, Etowah County Employment Office, that offers countless programs like what Mr. Worthy was talking about for apprenticeships. The state just actually, I think about 2 years ago, approved this apprenticeship program where you can go over there, be placed with an employer, and the state of Alabama actually pays your salary instead of that employer until you become what they call a value creator, meaning until you've learned enough on the job to where you can actually create value for the business, and then the business takes over your pay. So I'm telling you, man, that's a tiny little piece of all the programs that are out there. We just don't do a good enough job of, and it's hard. Like you said, we post it on Facebook. People say you got to put it on TV. You put it on TV. People say nobody watches TV. You know, you try and do everything you can as a city to get this information out there. But you know as well as I do, people don't listen to these comments at the end of city council meetings where we go, hey, don't forget about this program and that program and this program.
So long.
You know, so it's just, all I'm saying is just meet us in the middle. You know, realize that there are things out there if you keep digging, and I'll commit to you personally to try to do a better job of communicating that to everybody out there.
Thank you.
Brent. So I'm gonna, if it's okay with everybody, I want to go first in our comments, but I want to direct the first portion of my comments to Brandon.
Okay, and before, because Councilman Cannon wasn't here, I got a rule. Everybody loves it. 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So, Brandon, outstanding job. Okay. I think what got missed in some of that chatter is that Brandon's probably one of the better products that we've produced through our Gadsden City schools and through this city. I think that whole point got missed when he was being nitpicked about where he lives and the fact that he may have missed the point that there were a few jobs here or there and he didn't know where those programs were. Brandon's one of the better products that we've produced, regardless of color. If he weren't black, Johnny, you might let him date one of your daughters. But he's black, so that's not gonna happen. But at the end of the day, Brandon is an outstanding young man. And I appreciate you so much for how you presented yourself. There are some very good things that I drew from what you said. And more so than someone standing there lying to me about history, you definitely stuck to city business. So I don't have a concern at all with how you presented yourself and what you said. So thank you. Now you can sit down now because I got something else I want to say.
Councilman Williams, if I may.
No, you can't. Not until it's your turn.
Okay,
not until it's your turn, you can't. The other thing I'll say is this. I'll continue to drive this point, and I'll continue to say this each week. The theme that exists throughout this country and that should exist throughout this country is society as a whole versus racism. Racists are definitely in the minority, and we need to remind them of that fact. And I don't want to discount and minimize any attempt for any young person that's coming up and attempting to appeal to us to help bridge the divide that exists between the communities. The divide is not because people are upset. The divide exists because there is an underlying theme of racism that we have got to stomp out. I can't say this enough. As a council, we get along. We differ in terms of our opinions, but we get along. We get along just fine, and we do it civilly. There are some things that we have fundamental differences on, but we get along. And we don't argue and bicker and fuss and none of that. All right. So you can have civil discourse and even disagree without being vicious towards one another. And I think we have reached a point to where people have got to understand that there's a bridge that has to be built. And that bridge is not just black folks being quiet because things are better. That bridge is understanding where the hurt is. That bridge is understanding where the pain exists. That bridge is difficult to have to hold your nose. I mean, I travel all over this world, and I have over the years, and I've had to apologize countless times for my region and my state and the way I was treated. And it doesn't mean I'm still as proud today as I was yesterday about my upbringing and my experiences, but it doesn't erase the fact that we've got some things that we have got some gaps that we've got to bridge. And you can't just dismiss people when they're upset simply as being misguided or influenced by outsiders. I can tell you right now that I'll put what I know, what I understand, and what I believe up against anybody. And it has nothing to do with an outsider. It has to do with everything that I understand about my upbringing and everything that I understand about Southern culture. We have a great opportunity to understand what this whole heritage argument means to people of color. I don't care about you latching to heritage and Southern heritage. Honestly, I've lived here all my life. And I appreciate Southern heritage. I've been to other parts of this country and other parts of the world, and they're horrible when you compare them to what we've experienced growing up in this region. But the level of racism that we've allowed to propagate over the years is unbelievable. And all I ask is that we continue to take the opportunity to stomp out some of these vestiges of racism. Stomp out the vestiges of racism, and as a city, do things that show our community, both black and white, that we're not in favor of anything divisive and we're not in favor of anything that promotes racism. Thank you.
Mayor.
I don't have anything.
Councilman Worthy.
You know what? I don't have anything either, Madam President. I'm gonna let that go.
Councilman Cannon.
I have a bunch, and I'll take my 5 minutes, and I'll probably take it all. First of all, I didn't pick the gentleman that came up here. He said he was talking about his community and more police protection, and he lived in Attala, and I thought he was talking about Attala. If he was going to say East Gadsden or something like that, in my opinion, he should say that, but I apologize, sir, if I offend you for anything. And next, Councilman Williams, I do take offense for you talking about any of my children, my daughter, or anybody, because my daughter is happily married and she's got 2 kids. And I do take offense to you bringing my family up in any shape, form, or fashion in this city council meeting. If you've got something to say to me about my family or anybody in my family, I'll be glad to talk to you anytime and anywhere. That's all I got to say.
Councilman Reed.
But on that note, I must say that I'm kind of proud of my Southern heritage. I've been to China, Japan, Korea. I've been everywhere in the world I wanted to go in the Far East. If you want to see racism, check China sometime. Check Seattle, Washington, Washington, D.C., Detroit, Michigan. I think right here in Gadsden, Alabama, we've got the best thing that we can have that we are slowly going to correct the small parts of. And I sit here every week and listen and listen. Communication, Mr. Hall, that's our problem. I'm on 2 committees, or was, at the high school one and the other one's over here. All we talked about was CDs. All we talked about was talking to the upper echelon about what we could do for them in jobs, education, security. But it never did get down to you and your group or any other group. It floundered. That's our fault, okay? So we got to do a better job. I'm just going to repeat what Mr. Worthy and the mayor said. We just got to do a better job to y'all and for y'all, and you got to, on the other hand, accept what we're talking about. You want a job? 2,000 of them laying out there. Education opportunities, junior college over here is offering everything in the world. The high school over here is full of technical knowledge that anybody can take advantage of. But if you don't know about it, it ain't worth a hoot. So my suggestion is, I'm just reiterating what they said. For God's sake, you help us do that. I'll put it on your. Man told me one time, a president of our company, he said, Ben, you walking in here with a 40-pound monkey on your back. Don't leave it with me, because when you walk out that door, you're going to have it on your back again. I'm telling you, I'm putting it on your back. And you cooperate with us, and I think we'll go a long way. That's all I got.
Councilman Wilson?
First of all, please fill out your census. Thank you to the Family Success Center, who last weekend held a census drive and a voter registration drive and a blood drive all at once. You were also able to get tested for the antibodies for COVID-19, I think, at this event. They signed up, they helped 70 people fill out their census. So rough math, that's an extra $1 million or so in the city coffers over the next 10 years. So please fill out your census if you haven't already. Mr. Hall, I just want to apologize to you. My message to you was really more one of hope. You know, I was saying, hey, there are programs out there that exist that we just need to be able to connect the dots on. And to reiterate what Councilman Reed said, you know, and Councilman Worthy and the mayor and Councilman Williams, we've just got to do a better job of actually connecting the dots and reaching our community. And my point is, and I talk about this all the time behind closed doors with these guys, we got to get out of this routine of beating young people up for not using the right terminology or not using the right decorum in an environment or following Robert's Rules of Order or procedure. What we need to do is create an avenue where you guys can learn that decorum and procedure, and I mean all young people, and encourage young people to be involved in government. And I think that'll help cut down on a lot of the misunderstanding and the rhetoric that goes back and forth, because I can't tell y'all how many times, and this has nothing to do with race to me, this is just a communication issue with our entire community. You know, I'm not going to say it doesn't have anything to do with race. I'm saying my point is that across this community, what happens is when you've been sitting, I've observed this from the outside and the inside of this city government. When you've been here a long time, you've dealt with so many people who came to you and said, I want you to do this for me. I want you to help me. And they do it in the beginning. They stick their neck out. They go out on the line. They do it. And then the citizen doesn't hold up their end of the bargain or doesn't do what they said they were going to do. And so now this elected official's walking around with an egg in his face because he went out on the line for somebody and then it didn't come through. You know, nuisance abatement lots. Y'all see us talk a lot about these housing issues with nuisance abatements. In often cases, those housing issues have been going on for 2 years, 3 years of people saying, give me 30 more days and I'll get it fixed. And then they don't. And then they go, well, give me 30 more days. So when you get to the end of that process, all people see up here is us saying, we're abating this nuisance. We don't kick people out of their houses. You know, we actually have a community development program that will give homeowners up to $5,000 to do renovations and improvements to their house. But most people don't know about that. The last thing the city wants to do is to own a piece of property or tear it down. That's not what we want. So what ends up happening is elected officials come into this like me, young and excited, never been in public office before, and thinking you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof and that you can fix all the city's problems, you know, just by talking. And it doesn't work that way. But what will happen is over time, elected officials get jaded. They get hard. Their skin gets tough. They go, oh, it doesn't matter what we do. They're going to complain about it no matter what. And I can relate. I can feel that, man. I know how that can develop in a public official. But so what I'm telling you is, to reiterate Councilman Reed, is it's on both of our backs. You know, you guys in the community as a whole have to realize that there are a lot of programs, there's a lot of initiatives that aren't being utilized, that aren't being exercised and implemented in our community that would make it better. And there's a lot of stuff that we could do to make it better too. So my message to you was, when you come before this council, if you're informed and you know how the rules and procedures work, it may seem silly to a lot of people, but your message gets heard better. You don't give people an opportunity to dismiss you because you misspoke about that or mentioned this when you didn't know about that. Because the whole time you're sitting up there saying, we need to do this, an elected official sitting here going, well, he doesn't even know about this, or this, which makes people not necessarily receive your message all the way, is what I'm saying. So my only advice is, anybody who comes before this council, state a problem, state a proposed solution, and then state what you're willing to do to help implement that solution. And I think if we did that with every single one of our comments here, you would see a lot more positive reaction from the city, and I think we'd actually get some stuff done. So that's my only 2 cents. I think you did an excellent job, and I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to come up here and speak to us.
Right on time.
She's really keeping time over there. You can't keep time on an elected official.
Oh, yes, we are.
Madam President, could I do 10 seconds? All I got to say is a thank you to Mr. Dale Nelson for saving me and getting me this Georgia mask. If I don't say it, he'll hound me for the next week.
1 second.
Thank you, Dale, for this mask. I really appreciate it. Go Dogs. Thank you.
Councilman Back.
Just want to reiterate how important the census is to Gadsden, Alabama. We really need everybody to complete the census. I mean, your casual conversation with your neighbors, church friends, whoever, ask them if they've completed the census. And please take a diligent effort to do that. It really means a lot to our city. I want to thank you, Brandon, for coming today. I agree with everything Councilman Williams had to offer about you. And, you know, this isn't easy. Being a city council person isn't easy. Being in your position, I don't think is very easy. One thing Councilman Williams said that ringed true in my mind and heart was the fringe. I don't know if that's exactly what you said, but the minority of the people, not race minority, but there's two sides, and I think the ones that are in the smallest number on both sides are making all the noise. I think there is, I'll call it a silent majority on both sides of the aisle that are pretty much closer than we all understand and all even realize. And so I think if we can kind of listen to the majority and not to the vocal minority, I think we'll all be better off. And I echo the mayor's comments on the jobs. And there's so much opportunity for people to land a job and to get an education. Some of that kind of comes under personal responsibility for that person stepping up and taking care of themselves. I think maybe a larger part may lie on us, where we need to do a better job of letting people know where that is. We've got a really talented guy, Eric, right, that is really good at creating marketing pieces and informational pieces, and I'm sure his mind's probably already churning with ideas and ways to try to get that word out. But we need your help. We can't do it by ourselves. Apparently what we're doing is not working very well, or all these jobs would be taken, because there's a lot of unemployed people and there's a lot of jobs if you think about it. So somehow we're not connecting. So we need to connect, and if anybody has any ideas of how we can better connect, whether it's float a balloon around Gadsden or an airplane with a banner, anything. Apparently TV, newspaper, radio, social media doesn't seem to be working because the jobs are still there and people are still complaining about not having jobs. So everybody think about that. On my weekly comment on the food at First Baptist Church tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we'll be giving out food. We have 2 trucks coming tomorrow. So we'll have a box of food, kind of non-perishables. We'll also have produce. And, you know, the traffic lines up and blocks Chestnut Street. You know, that's just going to happen for about 2 hours every Wednesday. The Gadsden Police Department's very nice. They come and they do the best they can to help that. And it does interrupt some businesses downtown. We apologize for that. That's not our goal. Our goal is to feed
hungry people. I can't tell you the comments we receive on this food helps me to feed my family. Thank you so much for providing this food. So it's just paramount that this food program continues. So bear with us for the 2 hours when the traffic's kind of tough on Chestnut and Walnut. And, and I'll just end with this. I mean, I've talked about hearts and that we all need to have a better heart. And starting with my heart, I say that every week. I've noticed my heart changing. I've done a lot of reading, a lot of studying on the current events, and I've learned a lot. And I'll end with what my mother would always tell me, and I hope this kind of resonates with all of us. Just treat people the way you want to be treated. It's just a real simple premise. Treat people the way you would like to be treated. Thank you.
I would just like to say, as a facilitator of this meeting, we have rules of procedure, and I'm going to follow those rules of procedure. And when people come and make a request, I think all the young people that are coming are very intelligent. I think they speak very well, but we have a set of rules that we follow, not to discredit them. But nothing was said when a gentleman the other week came up here and he basically threatened all of us and nobody said anything. So that's the reason why I'm not gonna just let anybody come up here and just say anything. If you have a topic that you want to speak on, then you have, and it pertains to the city according to our rules of procedure, then that's what I'm going to follow. Because I think something would be said where you didn't follow the rules of procedure. So I'm going to follow the rules of procedure. And it's about, we're here as a city council to conduct city business. And so that's what we're going to do as far as I'm concerned. Racism, I say it again, racism is a sin, not a skin problem. It's a sin. One of the things that, if we get anything from John Lewis, he said, vote. Remember I said in a saying not too long ago, only 1,200 people out of 36,000 people in this city voted in the last city election. Amen. We have a problem. So those are the things that we need to be concerned about, is the fact that we need to get, and I think the last time, well, when the Black Lives Matter group came here, I said to Savannah Miles, I said collaboration and communication. That's what we need to do to get the young people involved so that you can become elected officials, so you can get on boards and you can get on those things. I encourage that. I've always encouraged that. You know, I don't know how Brandon knows me now, but hey, I know Brandon. Hey, Brandon is a very intelligent young man and speaks well, very smart, and I think all of them can become what they can be. Remember this, you cannot move in the future if you're always hanging in the past. So I encourage you to move forward. Fix what you can today and move forward. I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.